Hey, what's up, guys? I decided that I wanted to do a video about trying to do my best to refute the typical arguments for the existence of God. So I've got like the 5 or 6 major ones I wanted to go over and just the reason why I find fault in them. So first is the cosmological argument, which says that its tenets say whatever begins to exist as a cause, uh, the universe began to exist, therefore the universe had a cause. So there's a little bit of a fallacy of like a sweeping, hasty generalization. Um, you do the same kind of thing. You could say cutting people is a crime. Surgeons cut people, therefore surgeons are criminals. It's the same idea. Um, Also, you have a little bit of affirming the consequent because you're making a claim about the universe beginning to exist, which we really don't have too much of an idea about because we're talking about non-physical phenomena, and we don't know anything about non-physical phenomena. We only know about physical phenomena. Um, and affirming the consequent is in the same way of saying that if you have of the flu, then you cough. Um, Ian coughs, therefore Ian has the flu. Well, I could cough for a lot of reasons aside the flu. So just saying that whatever begins to exist is a cause, and the universe began to exist. Therefore, the universe had a cause. It's just a huge leap of faith, as to say. Um, so that's the problem I have with that one. Is the two big fallacies that are there, affirming the consequent and a sweeping and hasty generalization. Second one, the teleological argument. Teleological argument is quoted as an argument from design. It's the watchmaker argument. It's the fine-tuned universe argument. It's the biggest argument there is with theism. Um, and its tenets basically, like it says, nature exhibits complexity and beauty. That this complexity and beauty cannot be explained by accidental processes, but by a mind. Therefore, there exists a mind that has produced nature, and that mind is God, and therefore God exists. I have a quote from Voltaire that's pretty cool. Voltaire said that at best, the teleological argument could only indicate the existence of a powerful, but not necessarily all-powerful or all-knowing intelligence. Um, the problem here is that you run into an argument from beauty. Um, for instance, all right, argument from beauty um, goes like there are compelling reasons for saying that beauty exists and transcends material manifestations. According to materialism, nothing exists in a way that transcends material manifestations. And according to theism, beauty is a quality of God and therefore exists in a way that transcends material manifestations. So therefore, if premise one is accepted, then theism is more plausible than materialism. Um, and the problem here is that our intuition might be mistaken with this. Um, Beauty does not actually exist um, in the observed object, but in the observer. It's the observer effect, so to say, that the sense of beauty exists within the observer, along with this sense of transcendent beauty. It's just an idea. Um, it also runs into an inverse gambler's fallacy, saying that the Big Bang is one in a sequence of universes, that fine-tuning merely shows that there have been many other badly tuned universes before ours. Um, the next major one is the ontological argument, which says that whatever I clearly and distinctly perceive to be contained in the idea of something is true of that thing. I clearly and distinctly perceive that the necessary existence is contained in the idea of a God. Therefore, God exists. This is kind of Pascal's wager. It's very close to Pascal's wager. It's not exactly there, but it's close. It's dangerously close, in my opinion. And the premise, what I get behind it, is that it's basically saying because I can imagine a God, there must be a God. What about Scientology? They imagine that there's an ancient alien race, and that an emperor 4 quadrillion years ago sent their souls here and blew it up by using H-bombs, um, and set off all the volcanoes of the earth simultaneously, and that our suffering is due to the uh, ravages from these spirits of aliens. So since they can imagine that, that makes it true. There's obviously something wrong with that argument. That doesn't even deserve to be called an argument, I think. Um, the anthropic argument says humanity's existence is best explained by the existence of God. It says while life as we know it um, would not exist if one of the constants were slightly different. Sort of the same thing as the fine-tuning argument, saying that things like the cosmological argument that if they're off by 0.002%, that all of this existence would be different. But just to say that any one of these constants minutely changed would change life as we know it does not mean that there wouldn't be any other type of life that's feasible with a different set of constants. If our form is the only one that's conceivable, and this is a claim that's based on no evidence and no theory. Obviously, there's got to be other ways than just us. For us to think that we're the only conceivable form of life is very arrogant. I mean, there's life on Titan right now. Right now, one of Saturn's moons, named Titan, has an atmosphere, and it has organic material floating around the atmosphere, kind of raining down like manna from heaven, so to speak. And this organic matter is forming the beginning of proteins, of DNA, of RNA. And in billions of years, it will form cells, multicellular organisms, turn into plants. But by then, the sun's going to blow up. So we won't get to see it. We won't be able to observe it. We won't be able to see the beginning of life. But just the way that that's happening, that's how life began on this planet. The argument for morality is a big one. It says that there's objective morality, and that belief in God provides a better explanation of this objective morality. Therefore, if premise 1 is accepted, belief in God is preferable to the alternative. But moral norms are not objective at all. Moral norms are, that's a very hard phrase to say, moral norm. Anyways, they're entirely socially mediated. There's evidence that these social organization strategies have evolved in various species. For instance, ants, bees, termites. These are all colony animals that get together and accomplish their goals together. So to say that it would take a god for all people to agree that murder is wrong is a little preposterous. I think that it's pretty obvious that it would be counterintuitive to a growing culture to kill off everyone. And the last one is the transcendental argument for God, which says that knowledge is possible. If there is no God, knowledge is not possible, and therefore God exists. But the problem here is that there is no specific God proven by this. It's not falsifiable, so it's a bad argument. That's sort of like saying, well, God could have worked in the idea of evolution, or could have done this, could have done that. It's not falsifiable. It's not making an actual claim. It's just saying this might have happened. Has a logical positivism. The statement is meaningful only if it is either analytically or empirically verifiable. So it seems like there's a little bit of a non sequitur with this last one. So I am running out of time. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments, questions, leave them down in the box. Do a video response, and I'll talk to you later. See you later.